We covered the first topic. Now we'll move on to the second one, which focuses on the benefits to the employer. So at CAF, we've spent almost 15 years discussing this topic and the many advantages of apprenticeship with Canadian employers directly. We've surveyed employers who hire apprentices and spoken to employers who don't. For almost all employers, the decision to hire an apprentice comes down to one single question: how will investing in apprenticeship affect my company's bottom line? Employers tell us that investing in apprenticeship delivers real returns to their company's bottom line. When broken down by type of trade, employers in 19 out of the 21 trades reported a positive return on investment. We found that the benefits earned and revenues generated increase each year over the course of a 4-year apprenticeship. CAF's return on training investment research helps challenge many misconceptions about hiring apprentices and indicates that on average, for every dollar invested in an apprentice, an employer returns is $1.47. So for example, we have many reports, which you can find on our website, which address the benefits from a financial and qualitative perspective for employers. So this is all great, but despite positive return on investment and looming skill shortages in the skilled trades, only 1 out of 5 employers train apprentices. So what does that mean? Most of these employers are private small companies in construction rather than the service sector or public sector employees. We see that employers hire apprentices in a mix of compulsory and voluntary trades. What's more, employers have a demand for apprentices in the electrician, carpenter, plumber, pipe fitter and steam fitter, automotive service, food service, hairstylist, and mechanic trades. These trades have the largest numbers of apprentices, indicating that employers are indeed willing to support apprentices and sponsor them in these trades. For 3 specific trades, construction electricians, refrigeration and air conditioning mechanics, and automotive service technicians, we find that returns exist in all regions across Canada and for companies of all sizes. Some employers remain concerned that hiring an apprentice is indeed a big investment. It can be. It takes time, money, and effort to train new employees who are new to the trades, but our research consistently shows apprenticeship is an investment that pays off. CAF research also has information about employer supports, which is so important, that are currently available in Canada, including an updated document on tax credits, which was updated this month, wage subsidies, grants, employer consortia, matching services, levies, marketing campaigns, and retention incentives. So now I'd like to show you one of our videos, which is 5 reasons to hire and train an apprentice.
Across Canada and around the world, skilled tradespeople are in high demand. As an employer, you may be finding it difficult to attract people with the right mix of skills and experience. If your ability to take on new contracts, expand your business, and grow your bottom line depends on skilled tradespeople, consider these 5 good reasons to hire and train an apprentice. Number 1, according to the Canadian Apprenticeship Forum, for every dollar an employer invests in an apprentice, they see an average return of $1.47. This is true across 21 trades regardless of the size of the business or its location in Canada. Employers who train cooks, automotive service technicians, machinists and electricians are seeing tangible financial results that continue to increase every year an apprentice is on staff. Number 2. Apprentices can be trained to meet the unique needs of your business, absorbing the culture, technology, and environment while they learn trade-specific skills. By the time they are certified, you have a specialist who knows your business and your customers. Number 3. We can't ignore demographics. Inevitably, skilled tradespeople are going to retire, taking corporate knowledge with them. By engaging your most talented tradespeople as mentors, you ensure that their expertise is transferred to your next generation workforce. Journeypersons often report a renewed sense of purpose when they are given the opportunity to train an enthusiastic apprentice. Number 4, more than 1,000 skilled trades employers can't be wrong. They report homegrown journey persons are more productive, make fewer mistakes, and have better health and safety records than outside hires. Employers tell the Canadian Apprenticeship Forum that apprenticeship helps them create and sustain a high-performance workplace. Number 5, apprenticeship is cost-effective. Temporary foreign workers cost employers between $5,000 and $20,000 per person, while apprentices produce a positive net return in most trades by the second year. You may also be eligible for tax credits or other incentives, making apprenticeship an attractive option. Don't sit on the sidelines while skills shortages affect your business. Contact your local apprenticeship authority or download our employer toolkit at the Canadian Apprenticeship Forum's website.
I would like to share more benefits of the apprenticeship training investment, because we know that it supports the bottom line, but I think what we want to share now is the more qualitative benefits, because as part of CAF's research, employers also share this perspective. These opinions support the idea that apprenticeship is indeed linked to an enhanced business performance. Employers viewed an internally trained journey person or someone they trained as an apprentice as more productive than an externally trained journey person or someone they hire from the outside, because an internally trained journey person was more familiar with the workplace culture, the employer's way of doing things, familiar with customers, particular machines the employer used, they made fewer mistakes, and they had greater overall productivity. Employers estimate that internally trained journey persons were over 25% more productive. Employers have found that apprentices are like a breath of fresh air to the organization. Some employers remark that the apprentice mentoring process renews and revitalizes the current cohort of journey persons, which is a key qualitative benefit. Journey persons benefit from training apprentices because they have to revisit and rethink and break into learning moments. The apprentice brings in new knowledge and an awareness and understanding of new technology, which benefits the journey person and ultimately the organization. Apprenticeship training affects top talent to the organization, attracting top talent, and keeps employees all motivated. According to some employers, training apprentices helps maintain high standards of quality on the job as organizations develop skills and competencies that meet industry standards among employees and are better able to build quality products. Workplace productivity increases because apprentices are trained in companies' systems and work processes. For example, Hydro Ottawa finds that the apprentices and journey persons that work together are most productive. Employers also rate better fit with the organization as a significant benefit of employing a journey person who has trained an apprentice. Additional qualitative returns on apprenticeship training, as shared by employers across Canada, include better relations with customers for your business. Certain employers observe that journey persons are made even more aware of safe and work practices as they teach apprentices, reducing costs. So now I would like to focus a little bit briefly on homegrown employees, because this is another benefit. There's so many, as you can hear. Apprenticeship training provides an opportunity for apprentices to gain experience while the employers assess their attitudes, their aptitudes, their work habits as prospective employees. Although some employers state that poaching is indeed an issue, other employers note their experience that apprentices develop a strong relationship and loyalty to them, which leads to higher retention rates and lower turnover. Employers tell us that supporting apprenticeship ensures industry and will have a strong workforce into the future. So we've talked about what the employer is looking for in the apprentice and really how to approach the apprenticeship program process, but I think it's on behalf of CAF, we really want to encourage you to think about what the apprentice is looking for in the employer from a recruitment and retention strategy. So there's 6 key points that we've developed based on our research and connections with employers across Canada. So I'd like to share them with you briefly, and then we'll jump into another video. So an apprentice wants to ensure a journey person is on hand and can supervise them. They want to know that somebody is going to essentially show them the ropes and be responsible for helping them. They also want to envision a career path, not just a job. They really want to see themselves in a position that has long-term opportunity, like any career. An apprentice also cares about setting goals and encouraging them to progress throughout the program and obtain their certification from the employer's perspective. It's also important to get diverse training experiences rather than repetitive work and continue building skills through the apprenticeship program. It's also very important to complete technical training because this is one aspect that must be fulfilled to achieve certification as a journey person. And most importantly, help me to stay on top of administrative requirements. So now, to wrap up the benefits to employers, we would like to share another wonderful video produced by Rogers talking about benefits from the actual employer perspectives and really some insights into quality standards and how training has affected their staff in the long term.
Apprentices benefit the employees and also benefit the employers. It can't be looked upon as a challenge and a roadblock and something that's difficult. It's a very simple process to go through to sign an apprentice. I think the really important thing is to have a willing candidate and to have very defined parameters that apprentice is going to enter into in the work environment. And those will all be mirrored by the simple agreement from the apprenticeship counselor as well, too.
So there's a combination of reasons that we take on apprentices. First of all, it's part of our HR strategy. There is a looming labor shortage that we're all aware of, especially in the machining sector, and that's our way of dealing with the problem. So instead of trying to go out and hire people who have 20 or 30 years of experience, we hire people who have a little bit less experience in the 5 to 10 to 15 range, and to augment that, we go out and hire some apprentices. And it'll take time to build, but in the long term, what we're doing is we're filling our company with a whole bunch of young people who have a great attitude, who have intelligence, and who have a willingness to learn.
Yeah, the apprenticeship program is really set up well. There's great compensation available for the apprentice and for the employer through the different government agencies. So I think it's critical that people understand what funding is available to support your training efforts so that it's a win-win. The employee wins, the employer wins, and then you're both successful. You develop a very strong tradesperson in the end that serves your company for a long time.
The amount of funding really is dependent upon the area that they're coming from, how far they are away from the school that they'll be attending for their practical. But there's certainly many more tax benefits to the employers after the completion of each year of apprenticeship in terms of dollars that are available as tax relief for the corporations.
The funding for the apprentices, for early childhood education, there's different funding, I believe, than some of the other trades. So we go through Georgian College Career Services, and once the apprentice is placed with us, then we receive a dollar amount per hour that we're funded to help pay for the apprentice's wages. Really simple process, a little bit of paperwork, a little bit of background about the employer to the service consultant. But yeah, we found it to be really helpful.
Training an apprentice here is beneficial to us because twin cam motorcycles and Harley Davidsons are very different than any other brand of motorcycle. And if we raise them here and teach them the ways of our bikes, then we can ensure that they know how to work on every Harley Davidson. Because there are so many out there in the field, it is predominantly the only thing we work on. By raising an apprentice here, we ensure that they know what they're doing.
I've heard my employer say one time, it's easier to hire somebody and train them rather than to hire somebody, untrain them, and then train them your way that you'd like.
And the other incentive is that the wages, of course, are at the low end of the scale. So if you have the right people in your program, then you have a combination of the support plus a fair wage for training somebody. And at the end of the day, if those people are being used to make products at a profitable rate, then it's good for everybody.
Funding is fairly straightforward for Walwyn, mostly because we have a full-time controller. The funding for apprentices for the employer is basically, it's a tax credit basically at the end of the year, so it reduces your taxable income. Currently now, the federal tax credit is about 10% of an employee or apprentice's wage to a maximum of $2,000. The provincial credit is about 35% of their wages to a maximum of $10,000.
The biggest benefit is that you're able to hire someone to your own high standards. You're able to train someone to meet your own quality and work ethics.
So you're able to mold the apprentice the way that you run the business. The people do business completely different. I do business different than the previous owner, and the machine shop down the road does business different than myself.
There's lots of benefits. I think a big part is that we're training them around our philosophy, our expectations within the field while they're learning at the same time. So they're getting knowledge both from school and from the employer. That way, when they're ready to actually work full-time as a teacher in the classroom, they've had all the training. So we're not starting from scratch again.